Well, basically, I think that we have to really go back to community policing, which is, that's one aspect of obviously the strategy. You've got to really have cops engage with the community that they're policing, really have a direct interaction, positive, with community members, and being on the ground. And I think that that's something that even Police Commissioner Kelly spoke very strongly about. He was very critical when it came to Giuliani, when he implemented stop and frisk back, obviously several years ago. And so he was a strong proponent, and he spoke specifically about community policing. Here we are 12 years later, and he is a very strong supporter of stop and frisk and defends it to the end. And I've challenged him personally at hearings. I've told him that when you have only 20% of African Americans that are polled and Latinos feeling that stop and frisk is an effective policy, and you've got 60% of whites that believe it's an effective strategy, obviously that difference of opinion is really of concern and should be of concern to him if he's responsible for the safety of every New Yorker, not just certain sectors of our community, but for every New Yorker. The safety and security is of the utmost importance. And part of that is having community involved, engaged, being proactive with our police department. When that isn't happening, when what you have instead is a strategy like stop and frisk that alienates, that stigmatizes, that criminalizes, that has people not want to be cooperative with police, it does not make us a safer city. So that is what I think really needs to come across. And there are many, many, many ideas out there of how we can try to reform the policy, but also what other strategies we should implement at a community level to really stop violence and then crime. So part of that is, and a lot of conversation has happened recently, for instance, with a David Kennedy, who's talked about like that focused deterrence, which takes time and energy, but is effective, which means that in a neighborhood, it pretty is well known amongst the neighborhood who the bad apples are, who the people are that are maybe peddling the drugs or that have the illegal guns and that are causing the problems in the neighborhood. So the effort needs to be on really focusing on those individuals and not a policy that basically says, well, this whole neighborhood is at fault. Everyone is going to be stopped regardless of whether or not there's a reason to stop you, and then really stigmatizing that whole neighborhood. So there's different strategies in place that we just have to go back to and analyze and study and see how we can implement them here in New York City.